How often have you passed a street performer without giving him a second thought? When this specific street musician began performing in this city plaza, he was largely neglected by the public. Welcome to USA Stories channel. Do not forget to subscribe and activate the bell button to receive all new updates. Now let's go to the story. However, he startled everyone when a small child chose to give him some money. This street performer didn't have the usual appearance of one. He had a gleaming, nearly new-looking string instrument in his hands and was dressed in a complete tuxedo. People were used to bands that looked much rougher, so they were perplexed as to what this guy was doing in the public plaza. This Spanish city area was notorious for the large number of street performers and beggars who would congregate there on bright days. People with limited resources attempted to capitalize on the square's popularity as a tourist destination. This identical plaza saw a brawl between two street performers only a month prior to the release of this video. The people in the area didn't want to see another troublemaking street performer. Some people approached this street musician as he was getting ready to start playing his string instrument and advised him not to. They informed him that he wasn't wanted there. They all urged him to go find his luck someplace else as they had had enough of street musicians. The musician had a really smart concept. The villagers were informed by the street musician that he would only perform if someone asked him to. He declared that unless he was paid to play, he would not. He would stay fully frozen and cause no trouble till then. The villagers concurred while laughing. They were certain that no one was in the mood for street music, but they were about to be wonderfully proven incorrect. The street performer did not move from what he had promised. This strange conduct baffled almost everyone in the main plaza, especially since the guitarist didn't appear to be your typical vagrant. He was dressed in a pricey tuxedo. Even still, nobody in the square was thrilled to listen to some crappy street musician perform. On their phones, they would prefer to listen to the music. He was disregarded by everybody. The musician's confidence in his scheme began to waver. Many of the folks he observed were strolling by with headphones in. He had not been requested to play any music, but they were all enjoying each other's company on their phones. His faith was beginning to waver. What if his music was not wanted by anyone, as the villagers had claimed? That was not what he had anticipated upon initially choosing to visit the square, but in a short while, everything would shift. Unbeknownst to everyone, the street performer was in fact a highly skilled classical musician from the Orquesta Sinfónica del Valles, a nearby symphony orchestra that is renowned worldwide for its amazing interpretations of classical works. This individual was really skilled, but so yet no one has shown any interest in his desire to share some music with the world for a few pennies. The musician had been waiting for quite some time, but no one had invited him to perform. Still, he resembled a living statue rather than a street performer. "Give me another 10 minutes," he told himself. That was how long he was going to stay there. He was going to give up after those 10 minutes. Perhaps the natives had been correct. Then, however, things was different since someone on the plaza was really happy to hear him play his string instrument. 4-year-old Madrid native Angelica and her parents had been in town for a visit. She saw the oddly dressed street musician as they were eating lunch in the square. She requested permission from her parents to give him a penny. Angelica's parents informed her that she would not receive any money from them to tip the street performer. "No, Miss Angelica," they said. "That's a financial waste. The cost of this vacation has been sufficient." Feeling deeply let down, Angelica turned her back on her parents to hide the tears welling up in her eyes. However, she suddenly noticed something on the plaza. A fountain was present. Angelica had been eating her handmade sandwiches while perched on its edge with her folks. After her parents rejected her request, Angelica turned to face them and noticed glitter on the fountain's bottom. What did it consist of? Coins that people had tossed into the fountain to make wishes were scattered around its bottom. Angelica believed that the fountain held wealth. With her parents' attention already diverted elsewhere in the area, Angelica managed to sneakily retrieve a penny from the fountain. She now had to deliver the currency to the performer. Angelica approached the guitarist with the coin tightly balled in her fist. She continued to go despite her parents calling after her. She began to attract the attention of others. It seems that a larger crowd had been anticipating the musician's performance, but no one dared to approach first. Everything changed the moment she slipped the penny into his hat. The musician started to play like a jukebox. At last, he possessed evidence that his music was being heard by others. He'd shown the locals incorrect. The performer began slowly, playing lovely sounds on his string instrument. That's not all, though. He was going to give everyone in the city square a shock. Another street musician appeared out of nowhere. She had a cello with her. She took a seat in a chair next to the first performer and began to play as well. Their melodies blended so well that it affected the audience. However, this is not all. A growing number of musicians began to appear: percussion, horns, and violinists. It was just as large as it appeared to be. A few minutes later, Beethoven's Ode to Joy from his Ninth Symphony was being played by the whole orchestra. Who would have thought this would happen? An orchestra was led by a conductor, and a choir appeared and began to sing along with the music. And it all began with the penny that Angelica had. Please remember to subscribe to our channel, give us a thumbs up, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of our videos. If you enjoyed the tale, the next video that plays on your screen will probably move you too.